latest update regarding the autopsy report. However, despite the report publicly, the report has reportedly been sent to the Jackson County Sheriff's.
So last week, the Jackson County District Attorney released a statement where she said there's an investigation still going on to find other counties in Mississippi. Sometimes they meet like once every 3 months. This investigation is still going on. At the end of the investigation, they're going to convene a grand jury, present the evidence to them. But a grand jury meets in secret. It's behind closed doors. It's never public. And a grand jury consists of 15 people, and at least 12 of the jurors have to vote to file indictment. If they file an indictment and it goes to trial, that is when we would hear about the evidence. But if they decide that they are not going to file an indictment, that there's no charges here, the results of the case could be inconclusive.
Oh my God.
And the details of the case will remain sealed because that information is never shared publicly. Nolan's family will not hear what's being said in the grand jury. They will not be given the evidence. They will not see the details unless it goes past a grand jury.
Now, it's obvious that the Wells-Wansley family feels that they're still not getting the answers to the questions they've been asking for. Attorney Ben Crump has decided to bring in additional independent experts. His legal team has retained a forensic audio expert to conduct an independent analysis of the CETO call with the goal of determining exactly what can and cannot be identified on that recording through professional forensic enhancements. In addition, Crump has consulted with an oceanographer to evaluate the water currents, tides, wind conditions, and other environmental factors surrounding Horn Island. According to Crump, one of the key questions is whether Nolan's body could have naturally drifted to the location where it was ultimately found, or the investigation. They're assembling their own team of independent experts to review the evidence from multiple angles. Now, mainstream media has been focused heavily on information that has recently been released regarding witness statements and claims that Nolan remained on the beach after the group he traveled with left Horn Island. They also listed his alcohol intake as heavy. Now, what I find interesting is that information reportedly coming from confidential witness statements, information that according to the district attorney is part of the investigative file and not supposed to be released publicly, is now being discussed by members of the media in a way that paints Nolan in a negative light. Yet when it comes to the CETO audio, which originated from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources and was later independently enhanced by multiple parties,
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, was the version that we are playing tonight altered in any way by the Crime Stories?
No. What we did, Nancy, is we used an old school technique to bring out the audio in the background. You know, you have AI enhancements now that are, you just cannot trust the AI search its own. But when you go old school on this, isolate and filter. You use an EQ, equalization, to filter, to cut out the low rumble below 80 hertz. You cut out the high hiss above 8 hertz. This gives you the chance to hear that background a little more clearly. Then you boost the mid-range frequency. That's between 300 hertz and 3400 hertz. That matches the mid-range of human speech. Then you apply a simple high-pass filter that removes the constant deep humming or any other extraneous noises that are constant. And this does not alter the content, it merely enhances the content. So when you ask, did we edit or alter? No, we merely enhanced it using basic tools that are used in every production department around the world.
This is like when you're playing music, you turn up the bass or turn down the bass. Or Dave Mack, I believe the correct answer would be HELL N-O.
Drunk on the island after 4 o'clock hearsay is something that they can easily believe, but the audio isn't. Even after Nancy Grace's audio engineering team did their own enhancements, people still don't believe.
Service Sam here for a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and just something to think about. A friend was telling me how they kill black people twice. First time here in this world, and the second time is the assassination of their character. They have to act like something was wrong with this person to make people think that they deserved somehow what happened to them. The same way they're going after the family, how they went after Christine Walmsley, giving her bad reviews, discrediting her, the same way they go after Ben Crump, trying to discredit him, or Al Sharpton, or anybody who tries to help out. They're suing media people, influencers, for defamation of character, for asking questions about what happened to these people's best friend. And it's just so sad. And it's like, in hearing that this autopsy is finally ready, you know they're getting ready to just go in on Nolan's character. And I don't believe for a second that he was a drug addict, that did drugs, that was a heavy alcohol drinker. You saw the Coast Guard already said he had heavy alcohol intake when they don't even have the toxicology report. So stay aware of this and be knowledgeable of what they're trying to do and why are they trying to do it. Ask yourself that.
Think you can beat me in spades? Let's see you try.
Of what they're trying to do and why are they trying to do it. Ask yourself that.
Either everything should be examined objectively or none of it should be selectively accepted or rejected based on which narrative it supports. Ultimately, the investigation, not media narratives, should be what will determine the outcome in the Nolan Wells case. That said, during the Officer Tatum show, videos were shared showing Nolan and other young adults boarding a boat to head to Horn Island on the morning of July 4th. Now, Tatum also played footage of the 3 boats the group allegedly traveled on, showing numerous people both in the water and on vessels throughout the day. Triton allegedly had bilge pump issues, had to leave the island because it was filling up with water, but they said that Nolan did not come back with them because he was booed up with a girl named Katie. Now, Tatum also showed this video of the Triton having to be towed by Bart Edmonston's boat.
My buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, all this chaos.
Now, us not seeing Nolan on this video is supposed to be the proof that we needed to show that he did not come back with the group. And that interpretation could also be correct. The footage does appear to show a boat experiencing mechanical problems, with people seemingly preparing a tow line and working to tow the disabled boat. However, there's another perspective that deserves consideration. If the sea tow audio ultimately proves to be authentic and accurately reflects what was happening on the boat at that time, would anyone necessarily expect Nolan to be standing up in plain view? If hypothetically Nolan had already become incapacitated or was deceased, his absence from what we can see in that video would not by itself establish that he was never on the boat. Plus, whatever was sticking out the boat at this time wasn't sticking out the boat in the video. So what's this? Also, if it was just y'all kind of out in the middle of nowhere, who was taking these pictures? Now, according to WyomingNews.com, hundreds of Mississippi Gulf Coast residents journeyed out to Horn Island to celebrate the own boat to Horn Island and piloted his own boat home. When a nearby boat suffered a mechanical malfunction on the afternoon of the 4th, Bart Jr. gave advice and direct aid to the distressed vessel. As part of this, he boarded the distressed vessel, removed its transom plug.
But my buddy Wyatt jumped out and pulled the plug on the boat once we kind of got out there, because he got the motor to trim down, and the motor trimmed down.
Advice and direct aid to the distressed vessel. As part of this, he boarded the distressed vessel, removed its transom plug.
But My buddy Wyatt jumped out and pulled the plug on the boat once we kind of got out there because he got the motor to trim down. And the motor trimmed down. My buddy Wyatt pulled the plug.
So according to Warren, Wyatt was able to pull the plug, and I guess he did all of this while he was on the CTO call.
Jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going.
This man has seemingly my buddied us to pieces, and it seems as though two buddies that were at the same place have two separate stories.
My buddy asked him. My buddy went ahead and went. My buddy.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
Tubi, free movies and live TV.
My buddy asked him. My buddy went ahead and went. My buddy.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
So after Bart boarded the vessel, he removed its transom, got back onto his boat, and towed the distressed vehicle for a short distance. These actions allowed water that had accumulated on the distressed vessel to drain. Two different stories. These stories are starting to become hard to believe. So Bart's mother had this to say: Jacqueline Price, that circled picture is not mine. He had not been in Pass Christian in a year, which is where that picture was taken. He was clarifying that he was not present there. He never said he was not in Mississippi. I have a screenshot of it if you need me to send that to you. He is playing football out of state and was only home in Ocean Springs for a few days in July and was on the boat that towed the boat that Nolan declined going on because he wanted to stay behind. The audio that you are referring to is not as you guys see. They were panicking and created a plan to get the boat saved from sinking. The newest news has been reported that Nolan was seen on the island after the two boats left, and there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed, and clearly Nolan is not on the boat. So, for all you internet investigators, your plot to accuse my child of something is not warranted, and it'll come out sooner than later that he did not harm Nolan. And believe me, those who slander his name without warranted will be held accountable for their words.
An alleged enhanced audio. It sounds like people explaining the platforms are pointing the finger at your client.
Yes. That people play with garbled audio. I'll tell you this. My client's role was to help drain water off of a boat. And there were two credible witnesses at least that saw Nolan Wells on Horn Island an hour and a half, allowed for the inspection of his boat, his GPS, his phone, gave list of witnesses, and answered every question that was asked. So yeah, people are just fabricating things wildly. And the consequence of that is that you've got people who are in legitimate fear for their lives. Our viewpoint is not, we can't stop the entire internet. But I think we believe that we can do enough to convince people that there are some potentially real consequences if you lie and it puts people in danger.
Now, Bart's family isn't the only one coming forward to step up for their child. Benjamin Hudson, who is the father of Warren Hudson, has now come forward and stated that he is ready to give $50,000 for information on what happened to Nolan Wells. People magazine says Dr. Benjamin Hudson, whose son Warren was with Wells on Horn Island before the teen was reported missing and later found dead, is offering a $50,000 reward to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and conviction in connection with Wells's death, according to the Sun Herald and TMZ. We don't know what happened, Hudson's father told the Sun Herald. We have been completely transparent from the beginning because we want to know what happened too. He joins a number of public figures, including the Reverend Al Sharpton, Tyler Perry, and retired NFL star Terrell Owens, who have offered financial rewards for any information leading to the arrest of those responsible for Wells's death. So remember, we're genuinely believes that to come forward offering a $50,000 reward would of the announcement, especially given the renewed attention surrounding the CTO audio. Those individuals may wonder whether the reward is also intended to reassure the public that Warren has nothing to hide. Whether that's the case or not remains unknown. Katie. Katie has now come forward, or at least one of her friends have come forward, to show that Katie was not with Nolan or any of his alleged friends after the friends say they left the island without him at around 4:31. Shout out to Boogie Lowdown for getting these pictures. This is Katie at 5:24. She's in the blue bathing suit. 5:35. This is also Katie at 5:44. She's still in the blue bathing suit. It seems like there's other people on the island. This is her at 6:02. And someone was able to capture this comment from Katie's sister Gracie. It says, Kelly Morgan, she was not on her boat. She was with friends on their boat. Him going home with her was never an option.
That Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on.
And the boat Katie was on.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here.
They said goodbye. Be
leaving. The boat's having issues. Katie girl, and my buddy
going home with her was never an option. They were in front of the boat he was on and the boat Katie was on.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the
to her boat. It was nice to meet you, go separate ways, and Katie continued about her day. As far as picking Katie up, when her boat got to the harbor, my brother and sister-in-law picked Katie up by car and brought her home. Again, she didn't know Nolan prior to yesterday. They met at Horn, hung out with everyone. Then Katie went to her boat. This case has kept many of us up late at night, and like Nolan's family, we're hoping that answers come sooner than later. Now, as we wait for the grand jury to review the evidence, we're also waiting for the release of the official state autopsy's findings, the results of the independent forensic analysis of the CETO audio commissioned by attorney Ben Crump's legal team, and the findings from the oceanographer regarding the movement of Nolan's body. Each of these could provide important pieces of the puzzle. Until then, we'll continue following the facts as they develop and bring you the latest verified updates in the Nolan Wells case. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any new developments. As always, thank you for watching Chronicle Speaks.
Had nothing to do with this, but yet he implemented himself and put himself in the middle of this and contributed to his quote-unquote best friend's mama being attacked. But how can you sleep at night?
Career, and now since she's been going on TV saying, I want to get answers for my son, she's been attacked by sick individuals trying to, I guess, in some way discourage them from continuing to say his name and say that we won't let it be swept under the rug.
I understand that. Obviously, that's why we're all together right now, right? Is Christine, I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get these answers. Do you believe, or do you have any reason to believe, that this investigation is doing exactly what you want it to do?
Sure. Well, we know at the beginning they started out saying there was no foul play even before there was any investigation, Chris. So that was a concern to them at day one.
That was the trigger for why we felt we had to go this route, because it wasn't even hours after they had found his body where I'm watching on the news that the sheriff is saying likely an accidental drowning. We do not feel there's any foul play, but yet stories are not lining up. And so from there, that's why we're here now.
Elmore, again.
Which I think it's a pretty reasonable response, right? Like, again, I'm gonna stop saying best friend, because at this point, like, bro, these is enemy. Yo, Nolan Wells frenemies, okay? So Nolan Wells frenemies went on Officer Tatum's and platform, and they each said that they don't know why Benjamin Crump is a part of this, bringing Benjamin Crump in made things worse. They never address, they don't ever address why she had to bring on Benjamin Crump, and she just explained it perfectly. Within an hour of Nolan Well's body being found, the sheriff was already closing the investigation, closing the case. Yep, no foul play. They was about to write this off as no foul play. He's out of here. He's gone. But now Officer Tatum, even he's saying, well, there might be some foul play that went on, bruh. But Tatum is such a coward, right? Like what he said was, well, I don't believe the accidental drowning, but I do believe that somebody watched him die. Somebody was there when he died. What do you mean somebody was there when he died? Yeah, there was 2,000 people there. But he's such a coward, he won't even commit to Nolan Wells was killed or something foul took place, right? But now we understand why they brought on Benjamin Crump. So now y'all can stop with they're doing this for money, like Jason Whitlock just outright stated they're doing this for money. Tatum have said they're doing this for money. Now Tatum tried to clarify, well, when I say they're doing this for money, I'm talking about Benjamin. No, you're not, bro. Because Benjamin Crump has not received a dime from this situation. They're not paying Benjamin Crump for this. All that money that we see in a GoFundMe is going directly to the parents and to the research. So when you criticize them receiving money, you're criticizing the parents, and you know it, but you're trying to be slick because you understand you want to play the fence as well as you can. But that fencing and stuff ain't going no more.
Together and being able to stay focused. But I'm here for it as long as there is the need. When you look at this situation, what is your darkest concern that you just want to make sure isn't true?
I've already lived my darkest concern. We just want the truth. We just want someone to be brave enough to stand up, and we can't grieve the way we need to because we're being disrespected. We're being called all kind of racist, bad parents. We were not raised like that, and we did not raise our children like that. So we just want the truth. Any parent would want that. Any father would want that.
Understood.
Any mother.
Understood and true. And I know that we know one thing, and I know that this is not a time for solace, but there's one thing that has become constant in this story. You raised a beautiful young man who everybody sees exactly through that lens, that he was everything that you would want a son to have. And I have one just about that age. And everything I hear is exactly what you would want to hear, even in this young life. So God bless Nolan and his memory, and we will stay on this story and get the answers as soon as they can come.
Right. So part of the answers is the autopsy, and the autopsy came today. Okay. The autopsy is here, people. Now, we don't know the results yet, but I'll be real with y'all, man. I think we have some context clues in terms of the results, okay? Because when you look at the body language of the mama and of Benjamin Crump, most tell what the outcome is going to be, all right? So Benjamin Crump and Nolan Well parents, they went on Don Lemon to discuss whether or not the autopsy came out. Well, it did come, to discuss the autopsy and other things, okay? Now, the Nolan Wells autopsy was completed today. The mama, Benjamin Crump, they went on Don Lemon earlier today, I believe about 5 hours ago, to discuss the autopsy. Now, based on their reactions, you could pretty much tell. Now, the results are not out yet, but you could use their reaction to make some context clues. So let's watch the mama and Benjamin Crump and, and like Nolan Wells' family. Let's watch them talk about this autopsy to try to see if we can pull any type of context clues to figure out what we assume is in that autopsy report. We already got the results for the independent autopsy, right? So I don't think this autopsy will be much different from the independent autopsy. The only thing that we're waiting for, I believe, is the results from the throat and the lungs. Was it waterlogged? Because, you know, the original autopsy, they kept the lungs and the throat, so the independent autopsy wouldn't be able to give us a cause of death, right? Because without the lungs, without the throat, how do we determine whether or not Nolan was drowned while he was alive or after he was already dead? So the independent autopsy couldn't give us that, but like Nolan Well parents have talked about the autopsy. Let's go.
Get in Benjamin Crump, who is joining us in their journey along the way with the family, with Christine and with Elmore Wansley, Nolan Wells' parents. Ben, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the break. Hello to the family and to you, and thank you for being here. Let's talk about the breaking news. The autopsy from Mississippi is in. And so what does that mean? When do you find out? Have you heard anything from them?
We were made aware that the autopsy was complete, and because media started calling us, and I know the district attorney's office may have reached out to the family, but we did not get a chance to talk to them before the news told us the autopsy was complete. We are scheduled to have a meeting with the district attorney's office next week. Whether that means they're going to reveal the autopsy results is unknown to us, but we're certainly going to inquire.
That's so disrespectful too, bruh. I guess if these are his parents, if these are the people, they should be the only people y'all reach out to. They should be the ones you guys if you guys want to be secretive with the media, with the news, or everybody else, why are you being secretive with the parents? Why can't you tell the parents, hey, these are the autopsy results? All right? That could be done the same day over the phone. Yo, here are the autopsy results. We can send you a copy of it. Why are they being secretive with the parents? Also, can you imagine being a parent and having to hear that your son's autopsy is complete from the news? Now, they claim that, the DA may have reached out, but they don't know for a fact. Listen, man, it shouldn't be hard to get in contact with Nolan Wells' parents if you are the DA. What are you talking about? If you are the DA, call her phone, call his phone, call the people around him, call Benjamin Crump. You should be able to get in contact with Nolan Wells and his family before you release it to the news. Because the only reason the news will know that information is if they told them personally, hey, the results is done. Why would y'all tell the news before you tell the parents? This is what we're talking about when we say, Nolan Wells parents have been disrespected every step of the way. And I'm not capping. Every step of the way they've been disrespected.
Transparent with them, and we hope that they will be transparent with us, especially his family.
Yeah. So Ben, can they not release information to you? Because I know that, explain the process, because it goes to a grand jury. Now, do you know if they're going to be transparent with you, or you don't, and how much you think they can or will reveal?
Well, I think they can. They can do what they want. We do cases all across America, and the district attorney and the governmental authorities have the authority to release information as they so deem to release it. Don Lemon, they could be transparent, or they can say, well, we're not going to release anything until the grand jury. And then that means we don't know when we're going to see it, because nobody knows when they're going to conclude their report. And in George Floyd and Breonna Taylor cases like that, where you had governmental authorities trying to be transparent, they would release information to try to build public trust. What are they going to do?
Man, forget public trust, bro. Listen, bro. Okay, forget public trust, bro. All right, like forget public trust, bro. Okay, like forget public trust, bro. Yo, the family. Why don't the family know this? DA Christine called. Wait, the DA called Christine. She didn't pick up. Cool, call them back. Now they know. Okay, call them and give them, bro. Give them the results, right? Yo, the grand jury thing, by the way, like them not wanting to. Yo, then tell the parents, hey, listen, hey, can y'all not release the information? Give it to the parents and then tell them, hey, don't release it, because we don't want to taint the grand jury. We want this information to be the first time they hear it, especially in Ocean Springs. Say that, but don't withhold it from the parents. Now, listen, man, I don't have a son, right? I don't have kids, right? I've never been the leader of a family when somebody passed away, so I don't know how the situation works. But is this protocol? Yo, y'all in the comment section, y'all let me know. Is this protocol? Have you gone through something like this when a loved one passed away? Huh? Let me know.
Be transparent. They would release anything at all into the grand jury, and the grand jury might convene. You just never know.
You said the grand jury might convene. You cut out for a second, Ben.
They could convene anytime the district attorney and when the district attorney decides to release information.
Why did it take Mississippi so long to present these results? And do you know why they've been so quiet?
I don't want to speculate. I know oftentimes they would offer that they're waiting for a toxicology report. So why it took as long as it did, but we hope that they will be transparent with us, because as Dr. Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy at the behest of the family, Don Lemon, articulated, he shared that he would not be able to tell if the airways were obstructed, if the lungs were filled with water, because by the time he got Nolan's body, the organs had already been dissected. And so he would have to depend on the observations of the state medical examiner, who would have gotten Nolan's body immediately once they recovered it.
Right. And also too, right, because even like, yeah, right, like he said, right, like he can't really see it because, again, the body has already been like dissected, so he can't really see like was it filled up with water or not. But here's what I would say regarding this, right? In LA, the medical examiner and LAPD was literally in a fight. Now, I don't know how this works in Ocean Springs, but in LA, when it comes to like Celeste, right, like the David and Celeste situation, the medical examiner and LAPD was literally in a fight for transparency. Like LAPD told the medical examiner, hey, stop releasing information. The medical examiner says, no, we are an independent entity and we owe it to the public to be transparent, and they was releasing information regardless, right? That's how we knew, yo, like Celeste's body was dismembered. LAPD dropped a statement lying about it being dismembered until like David was actually arrested, and then we seen it, right? So I don't know if the medical examiner in Ocean Springs is an independent entity as well, and they determine whether or not like they can release information. But if they can release information independently, I feel like they need to put pressure on the medical examiner. They need to put pressure on a medical examiner. They need to put pressure on him to release information, to be transparent. Because if the sheriffs like aren't doing it, right? Because the sheriffs and the DA, they are already hated. They're already public enemy number one. At this point, I feel like they're just trying to preserve and get as much attention away from them as possible. So if that means stalling out the case, having people forget, having people no longer tapping in to really find out, right? Because listen, once you kind of like stall out the case for about 2 or 3 weeks with no updates, like David, right? Once there was no new updates for about 2 or 3 weeks in the David case, there were less videos and less attention. So the DA and the sheriffs, they are incentivized to get people to stop looking into this because they don't want the public backlash. They don't want the pressure on them and a grand jury to do their jobs. So they need to contact the medical examiner, put pressure on them. They are independent. Now, unless they're just in cahoots with their police departments and the sheriffs, they should be able to release information independently. Unless the sheriffs and DA go.
The organs had already been dissected. And so he would have to depend on the observations of the state medical examiner who would have gotten Nolan's body immediately once they recovered it.
I want to ask you, so that's the only way that you're going to know if the independent autopsy and the state autopsy, if they indeed match up with each other. So 2 questions. That's the only way you're going to know. So one would think that they'd have to be transparent, or at least they'd want to, so that you can combine the two, because they'd want to get to the bottom of it. If there's some discrepancy with one or the other, that can be really, beneficial to finding out what happened to Nolan. And so what happens if the results in Mississippi don't align with the evidence shown so far? That's that's a big deal.
Yeah, and oftentimes, Don, you do find that you have differences in autopsies. I know I've handled several cases where the state medical examiner concludes one thing and an independent medical examiner concludes another. And then you have to put it before a grand jury and they decide, or even more profound, the matter then goes.
Yeah, but in this case, the independent autopsy couldn't even do their thing. Like, they never had an opportunity to fully investigate because they never got everything. So we can't even say the independent autopsy may be different because the cause of death is what we're is what we're all waiting for. And they never had the opportunity to do the cause of death because they didn't have the lungs and the throat and the necessary, organs, right? So we now rely on
jury trial in whether it's criminal proceeding or not, or civil proceeding. And so it really is about what you said, trying to be transparent with one another and seeing if we can figure out why you get these conclusions. And remember this, Don, autopsy is not the end all. It's still other factors that are important as well. Remember, Dr. Roger Mitchell said, even if the conclusion is he died from a drowning, then the questions become, what was the condition of his body before he entered the water? Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water, or was he not forced into the water? So all of these become very important variables.
Absolutely. And Judge Mathis even spoke on it, because Judge Mathis mentioned there was a bruising on the back of his neck, I think, right? This area right here. Now, some people said, we race hustling because if he was found, I guess, if he washed up on shore, that will cause the bruise. But then why didn't the original autopsy catch it and mention it? Who knows, right? But Judge Mathis says that because of the of the bruising in the back of his head or neck, that if it does come that he was drowned, he believes that that's probably proof they back even we the sources that claims that there's now are people claiming that they were eyewitness to an altercation that Nolan had on the island. There are people claiming, right, they are now eyewitness to drug dealers on the island giving out coke. So again, if that autopsy come back and it shows, okay, he drowned, okay, now let's investigate the circumstances surrounding the quote unquote drowning. But I'm still not convinced it's gonna come back as drowning, right? Unless we get an independent autopsy. But Ocean Springs made that impossible. Now we just got to listen to Ocean Springs and figure out if they're telling the truth or not.
All of these become very important variables as you look at it. And I'm saying this, and I'm here with Christine and Elmore as we go to Cincinnati, Ohio, to speak to a lot of young people, high school students and so forth at the Omega Conclave convention. I'm sensitive. We're talking about autopsy, and I know this gets a little emotional.
Well, that's what I want to ask Miss Christine, who's there, and Mr. Elmore there as well. Miss Christine, thank you so much.
I'm gonna hand the phone to Christine.
Okay. I know that it's difficult for you to listen to this, and I was keenly aware that you're in the background and you're having to deal with this. I wrote something this morning in my newsletter, and I said that you have been wanting transparency around this. First of all, good morning. Thank you for joining us. But you have been wanting transparency around this. But hearing the actual words and the results or whatever, that is extremely difficult. You want transparency, but then to be able to hear it is heart-wrenching. It's really a double-edged sword.
It is. And honestly, it's one of those things when we're sitting in it, because we have not been able to fully grieve, right? So there's a bit of disassociation that occurs. And I too have to just always take a moment to step back and be like, okay, however it goes, right? Like it has to in some way, like it has to be accepted. But again, I can't fully accept the answers and things that were told to us at the beginning because it was too soon. There was no investigation. Stories did not align. And so for people to say, hey, why can't you just accept it, drowning it and be done? And
bro, anybody asking this mama to accept listen, man, anybody asking this mama to accept the accidental drowning, you are the devil. And I'm being 100% honest here. You are evil. Anybody asking a grieving mama to accept whatever answers they're feeding that are inconclusive, you guys are out of your mind, bruh. Yo, do you know that right now that if you ask the DA and the sheriffs and the police, like right now, no, like I'm talking about like right now at this moment, like right now at this moment, they still Nolan inconclusive. Oh, Mississippi, the only reason why they're going to a grand jury is not because the DA believes they were foul play. It's only going to a grand jury because the DA have announced Nolan Wall's death is unknown. It's unknown. They have officially labeled it as unknown. Because if the death was officially ruled as drowning, then a grand jury is not a requirement. The requirement is only required in Mississippi if somebody's death is unknown. You bring it to the grand jury, show them everything you have in terms of their death, and a grand jury decides on whether or not foul play took place, and they rule it either a homicide, either the drowning, or whatever cause of death you think it is. So right now, the death is even labeled. This mama shouldn't accept any theory. These people, man, listen, bro. These people don't have the best.
More like what exactly are we dealing with? And we need that. Like my husband and I, our family, we need those questions answered.
When you got that,
Like Attorney Crump said, the DA did reach out. Actually, I had text the victim's advocate stressing. And so then I think that afternoon, so today is what? Because I've had to change the settings on my phones because of the harassing phone calls I've been getting.
Wow.
I want to talk to you.
Listen, I think there needs to be, that's fine. There needs to be a registry. Not for but for us to see. She needs to create a list, right? An interactive document, whether you do it like through Google Docs, through Excel, you list the numbers, list down all the phone numbers that's calling you and harassing you. Include the voicemails if they left some. Let us get the phone numbers and the voice notes, and let's start identifying who's calling this woman to harass her. Because if you're calling a grieving mother to leave a racist voice, they don't view you as humans. If white supremacists and white nationalists and these racists actually viewed us as human beings, they wouldn't be calling a grieving mother. They wouldn't be calling harassing her, leaving threats, disrespecting her, cussing her out, trying to make her life. At that point, to me, that should be treated like attempted murder. Do you understand how many people die every day of a broken heart? A broken heart is an actual thing, yo. It's an actual thing. I think, like Breonna? Yeah. Like when those police murdered Breonna, I think her parents or her mom or some died of a broken heart. Broken heart is a thing. So she's already dealing with this. And now you're trying to compile it. Nah, bro, that's attempted murder. Create a registry. Let us see the names. Let's bring some straightening to these folks. We can't rely on Ocean Springs. We can't rely on the police. Let's give them accountability. I'm not talking about violence. I would never, ever root for violence. I'm talking about accountability. Let's give them accountability. Let's get them fired. Let's make sure we are applying similar harassment tactics to you know who. Because this is just despicable. Why? As a human,
I want to talk to you about all examiner's office, the state, or the DA. What would you like from them? You want to hear everything, I'm sure.
I would like for everyone to just do their job. I would like for everyone to treat this as if this was their child or their family member and give us the same honesty, transparency, and respect that they would expect for them or their family.
Amen. Now, can we talk about the other stuff? You went there, so I feel like I can go there because I've been bothered by.
Wait. Now we have to introduce this because just in case you guys don't know, all right? Nolan Wall's mama has been getting harassed since day one. And her sin, the reason why these white supremacists and racists are harassing her is because she's asking for justice for her son. She's bad reviews on her job, as you guys just heard. They even been calling her dad. They've been calling other family members. They've been on a targeted harassment campaign against her so she can stop seeking a full investigation, but it's not going to work. She's committed to getting justice, straight up.
It's disgusting. I'm going to start with one thing, and then I'll talk about the harassment of you, and especially as a mother, and then as a medical professional. And I know you take your profession very seriously when you said, "I love everybody, black, white, red, green. It does not matter."
Yes.
So do not get that wrong. And you've always had really good reviews. But I want to talk about this blaming the victim and smearing the victim. The reports that we've been hearing. No, Nolan was drinking. He was doing this and he was doing that. Why? I guess we know why they're doing it, but I want to know what your assessment is, how you feel about that, because even, let's just say that he was, I'm not saying that he was, let's just saying that whatever he was doing, that doesn't mean that you have to die. Then that doesn't mean he was the only one.
Exactly.
And what do you think young people do? On my senior trip, I was, out there, right? So I'm just saying, kids have fun. So what does that have to do with anything? That's what I don't understand. What's your assessment on this?
Honestly, I feel like that is a way, which we've seen this before, right?
Smear campaign.
Pattern recognition. We've seen this where things have happened, especially when we talk about the Black community. And, after the death, it's a smear campaign. It's, what can we find out about this person? What can we say?
Yes.
And, that's something, my family and I, especially my husband and I, we definitely do not appreciate.
Yes.
But, we can't fight everyone that wants to have an opinion. But also, too, it's part of society that has been allowed to occur, which is it's gut-wrenching at best. Because if you were in our situation, how would you feel if there were millions of people who are saying, oh, hey, well, he was at an island, he was heavily drunk. And again, even with the drinking, there are so many conflicting stories, only because I have spoken with adults.
Before we even get to the conflicting story, okay? Tatum and the rest of them start bringing up drinking. It's a smear campaign. Yo, Ahmaud Arbery, shot and killed in cold blood. The first thing they do is, he was arrested before. Yo, listen, man, he was arrested. See, bro, look at his mugshot. Trayvon Martin got shot and killed at 14 years old? These devils couldn't pull up a mugshot because there was not no mugshot of no 14-year-old. So these devils went ahead and found Facebook pictures of Trayvon Martin with his cousins and said, look, he looks like a thug. Look, thug. They don't see us as humans, bro. Yo, if a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old, again, I'm not sure how old Trayvon was when he passed away. Yo, if a 14-year-old dies, murdered in cold blood, if a 14-year-old dies, and the first thing you go to is, let's go to his Facebook page to find pictures of him sagging his pants. Aku 16? Okay, cool. If a 16-year-old dies, first, let's go to his Instagram. Let's go to his Instagram to find pictures of him sagging his pants so we could call him names? Why is that? Why is that like your concern? Why is your concern not, let us figure out who murdered this young man? Let us get this young man justice. Black, white, orange, purple, green, it should not matter. But the first thing, it's like, the first thing they go to, literally, the first thing they go to is the character assassination. Listen, somebody says Emmett Till. Come on, y'all know the Emmett Till story. Y'all know devils like Matt Walsh are doing live streams in 2026. Right? Sleeping in his bed, woken up in the middle of the night by racist white. What them devils did to her son. And you got white men like Matt Walsh, the devil, in 2026, the big 2026, talking about, well, listen, man, Emmett Till, they've been lying about. They lie about those grown white men dragging a 14-year-old out of his home at night and murder him beyond recognition. Well, no, they didn't lie about that part, but there was eyewitnesses who said Emmett Till did whistle at the woman. And they said he told her she was attractive. And that should be who cares about those details? What are you, what? Huh? That needs to be said? A 14-year-old but you understand how they do us. These folks are still trying to character assassinate Emmett Till because Emmett Till's story is too tragic. Because too many people are like giving black folks empathy and sympathy. And the empathy and sympathy towards black folks is apparently what they have an issue with. Trayvon Martin dies, man, too much empathy towards them black folks, man. Let's ruin his name. Ahmaud Arbery, let's ruin his name.
And he was like, he was perfectly fine. Because I think it had bothered him too that there was this narrative of, oh, he was sloppy drunk. Like that's, and it started at the very beginning. It was, oh, he was sloppy drunk. And I'm like, but was he though? Or is this a narrative that you guys want to use to kind of have us just accept that it was a drowning?
Mm-hmm. Are you prepared for whatever it is? You know that stuff.
Honestly, it's hard to be prepared in any way with the way we have been thrusted onto the national stage.
Yes,
and just kind of everything. And it's going to take a long time. So even, you know, God willing, when we do get honest, transparent answers, right? Even when we get those answers, it's still going to take a moment, not even a moment. It's still going to take a while for us to digest and really accept that. Because again, and this is just me now speaking from a medical standpoint, we're kind of stuck in one of the stages of grief because we don't have answers. And that, but right now we're kind of just stuck and we can't move forward because we don't have answers.
So when you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, listen, man. You do it. That's how you do it. Was already loading up his podcast to Cloud Chase the minute he heard his name come up. Bro, Tatum podcast and his camera and his mic was already loaded up. It was already loaded up to come and Cloud Chase off this woman. I'm glad she paid him dust. I'm so glad she paid him dust. I'm not talking about that fool. Sorry, not doing it. Nah, I'm sorry, not doing it. Sorry. Zero. That's how you do it. This is how you deal with a cloud chaser like Tatum. Pay them dust. I'm gonna start adopting this, man. Yo, you asked me about a cloud chaser. Sorry, don't got a response. F them. Because this right here is the way to do it. Bro, I got like 100 pages who make videos about me like every day. Right? And I'll be real, and every time they make videos, like my numbers go up. You feel me? But in her case, yo, she's like, bruh, there's like 100 different pages. Like with me, there's 100 different pages who lie on me. With her, there's 100 different pages. If I single out Brandon Tatum, he's gonna feel important. I'm not gonna make him feel important. Not happening. Sorry.
Everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
At all.
So let's talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing. They're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, "Oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this." And I'm like,
wow.
Wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a grieving family? But
I again, distraction. We're not even going to address them or that man. We only want the truth. Again, at the end of the day,
This how you
I'm
do
gonna
it.
say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what
Yeah,
happened to
shut her
Nolan.
mama.
That's what we need to know. That's it. That's all.
Shout out to mama,
Dad.
man. Dad is no nonsense, yo. And Tatum, for your sake and your safety, Tatum, don't ever come around Elmore, bruh. Leave Elmore alone.
Yesterday,
Elmore ain't playing with you, Tatum.
Not only speaking
when
up
Elmore
for
catch you, Tatum,
your son, ability I saw there. What do you want to say to folks who are your wife is getting threats? She's being harassed. Those families have been treated like they're a nuisance by police departments, according to the reporting. What do you want to say to America about this?
We want a fair and thorough investigation, just like the other families, because we hurt just like them. If this was their children, they would want to know. They would want to go to every resource they can get to the ends of the world to find out what happened. So then that's all we're doing. We're not accusing anyone. We just want to know what happened to our son, because it doesn't add up. Times don't add up, stories don't add up, and
at all.
It just doesn't. So we just want a fair and thorough investigation so we can grieve properly, because we can't, because there are so many answers, but so many questions that are not answered.
I don't know if you want to respond to this, or Ben or Christine. The father of one of the young men who's been speaking out is put up a $50,000 reward reportedly. What do you think of that, Ben or Elmore or Christine?
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, that was actually Warren's daddy, right? That was Warren's father put up the $50,000. Now, what do I make of that, bruh? Now, the $50,000 was for, if anybody have any information about what happened to Nolan, come in an indictment. My business. Exactly clear believes happened to Nolan. Clear. Now, this $50,000, something that happened to Nolan, we just was not involved. But you have to put that on record, because when you guys do these interviews with Tatum, and y'all damn near call the mamas a race hustler, that's not fair. Because if you too believe that Nolan Walls was murdered, if you too believe that Nolan Wells was murdered, if you too believe that Nolan Wells, and underwent a tragedy, then that be don't get an interview why you believe Nolan was murdered. PK is performative. If you don't believe that anything foul happened to Nolan, then you putting up $50,000 is damn near saying, well, nothing bad happened to him. He just drowned. So nobody is going to claim the $50K anyways, right? Yo, that's like me saying, hey, I got $1 million if somebody can find me a flying pig. If I didn't believe there was a flying pig out there, then the offer will be performative. So if Warren believes something foul happened to Nolan, then he should spend the majority of his time trying to figure out what happened to Nolan and not going on Tatum trying to make the mom and them look bad. So either this is a performative $50K offer or they believe something foul happened to Nolan. Then if that's the case, do more speaking on why you believe something foul happened to him. Straight up.
Ben or Elmore or Christine.
Yeah. So we are happy with anybody who wants to share the objective to get into the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. So we applaud it and we say, yeah, let's all work together to get answers, because we, as we've said continuously, Don Lemon, adamantly, Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. I mean, and that's what you want, are answers.
Mm-hmm. Ben, yes, we all do want answers in this. Can you talk to us about that press conference yesterday? Because it's not.
Right. Now, here, I'm trying to see if they discuss Nolan any further. Because we got to get to Bart. We already discussed let me see real quick. We got to get to Bart. We got to get to Bart. Okay, perfect. So let's get to Bart. All right, if y'all are tapped in, come on. Let's get to Bart. So, how do we discuss Bart, man? Have y'all been tapped in with Bart? Do y'all know who Bart is? Do y'all know who Bart is, man? Bart been talking, folks. Now, Bart is the NFL player, okay? Should we get to Bart or read Super Chats first? Let me know. Get to Bart or read Super Chats first? Let's read Super Chats. Let's get to Bart. Cool. Okay, perfect. So, okay, cool. So, Bart, one of Nolan Wall's friends, is responding back, and he's panicking. I'm not lying, okay? One of Nolan Wall's homie, Bart, is absolutely panicking, bro. Bart, after the audio got released, now the audio is what people believe implicates him in this Nolan Wall's murder. Folks believe this. And because of this, we've seen the result of that audio dropping where his name is mentioned. He has given the police 20 witnesses that they ain't know before. So why would you hold it on this information? But he gave them 20 witnesses. And they are also sending lawsuits and cease and desist out to anybody that mentions him in this Nolan Wall situation, which I don't think they can do that. Like, you can't sue people for speculating about something. Again, you can sue them for saying you did something, but not speculation, right? So Bart is the name that was mentioned during the boat audio. So y'all remember when the boat audio was playing, it was like, yo, he's dead. Oh my God, Nolan. Oh my God, Nolan. No, Nolan, no. Well, in that audio, after you hear shut the F up, you hear damn it, Bart. Now, because that name was mentioned during the audio, damn it, Bart. Oh, okay. And then interviews that Warren did and Tristan did, they both mentioned Bart. So now Bart is this new character who believes he's being talked about unfairly. And because of this, right, Bart is now like telling like TMZ, the police told TMZ, that Bart has given up 20 witnesses. And then we'll get to the lawsuits that Bart intend on filing. And we'll talk about who exactly he intend on suing. So this is what TMZ said about Bart and the 20 witnesses earlier today.
Bart people have been sort of theorizing online and even just flat out accusing him, saying that he was jealous of Nolan because of the girl that Nolan was with on the 4th of July, Katie McCormack, and they felt like Bart had a relationship with her. So Bart's hired an attorney, and the attorney already came out and said, that's not true. He didn't have a relationship with Katie. The photo you think is Katie is not Katie. Done all that. But they're in particular now they're going after one OnlyFans model / influencer who has voiced her theory about Bart being involved. Her name is Kimberly, and she is the recipient of a cease and desist letter from Bart's attorney. I don't know if Kimberly is all that scared of this lawsuit.
Kimberly do not give a damn. Now, Kimberly, in terms of the short form, she's probably been like the leading short form creator in terms of this Nolan Wells situation. Kimberly drops like 5 to 10 videos a day on Nolan Wells. Like, she gives like 5 to 10 updates like on Nolan Wells. Like, it's like her work ethic is crazy. All right. So because of that, like a bunch of her short form goes viral. And because of the virality now, you have people like Bart saying, hold on, bro, you saying my name to, bro, I'm getting bad press. Bart is trying to go to the NFL. Bart don't want no drama on his name. Bart is trying to play the next college season without any hiccups. Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine, if there's Nolan Wells investigation in this case is not wrapped up yet by the next collegiate season where Bart has to go and play for Wyoming, and then you have Bart coming out, and then as he walks in out, you hear nothing but boos. Boo, boo, boo. Can you imagine if Bart plays at an HBCU? If this Nolan Wells situation is not concluded and wrapped up yet, I think Bart is trying to get ahead of it and speed this up. Because when college football season starts and Bart plays, let's just say a predominantly black university. Let's not say HBC. Let's just say he plays at a university that has, let's say, 50% of black folks enrolled are black. Can you imagine, people, the boos, the things being thrown, the hostility towards Bart? Bart might not be able to get off the school bus, the football team bus, without a police escort. There will be mobs of people outside waiting for Bart if this is not concluded, which is why Bart wants to get ahead of this. Bart wants this to be over. Bart believes he's innocent, so Bart is giving up 20 witnesses. Bart said, but here's where I think Bart is going wrong. Bart and Bart parents, welcome to the internet, bro. Welcome to the internet, bro. All right. Now, you guys are ex-NFL players or something of that sort. You guys are millionaires. Y'all are wealthy. The people you are trying to sue or take to court, they might not have anything. I'll be real with y'all, bro. Now, I don't know Kimber Ali finances. I'm sure she's doing pretty well. But Kimber Ali, when she be talking, she is gangster. She's like, you can tell she's from a trap. Like, she's from somewhere where you grew up tough. Man, Kimber Ali don't got $1 million for y'all to get, bruh. She's a hardworking woman, probably a 9-to-5er. She got the OF hustle going on too. She don't got $1 million for y'all to get. So you going after people who essentially you will get nothing from in return. And the lawsuit ain't gonna be over within, 10 days, right? 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 You don't got nothing to get. So you going after this woman all this does is give you bad PR. That's all it does. All it does is give you bad PR. That's all it does, bruh.
Want to sue me? Let me tell you how it's going to go. I am poor. I have nothing. I don't own anything. You can't put me in. I have nothing.
Like crazy conspiracy theories at this point. And I feel like that case has been filled with those.
Well, and Bart actually took it a step further beyond that. He said, not only did I not have anything to do with Nolan's death, but I have actually told police the 20 people I saw that day out there, gave them names, and he said, I'm cooperating fully with this investigation, and he wants to know who killed Nolan, if someone
I've just got
killed Nolan.
I've just got a sense, and again, I'm only basing this on the way I've seen cases go. I've got a sense that we don't know what the actual scenario is, that there are a bunch of scenarios out there, and they all seem to not hold water, and that there's some other scenario that we're going to hear about.
We don't know who was on the island with Nolan.
Yo, what I tell y'all about TMZ? Fam. Nolan Wall friends have came out with a bunch of theories that makes no sense. They have came forward with a bunch of theories that makes no sense whatsoever. Right? They've came out with this theory and that theory. The theories makes no sense. It's horseshoe. It's nonsense. Right? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's absolutely nonsense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Nonsense. But TMZ has never came out and said, yo, Nolan Wall friends makes no sense. Yo, Nolan Wall friends, da, da, da. They won't criticize Nolan Wells' friends. They won't criticize Brandon Tatum changing up his opinion about 5 different times, but they'll want to critique me and you for having theories because the people who know things won't say what happened. I told y'all how TMZ get down, bro. They not friends.
We don't know who was on the island with Nolan after 4:30.
That's right.
We don't know who he was with.
But we know that boat took off without him. We don't know what the answer is, but there is something there.
Crystal, and I'm from Buffalo, New York. I feel like Brett is trying to protect his potential NFL career, and he has the money to do so. And I definitely think it's smart in order for him to lawyer up.
Yeah, that's to your point. Bart plays college football. He's a punter. He's actually pretty good, and some people think could go to the NFL eventually. So there's that too, that he could be. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Bart people have been sort of theorizing online and even just flat out accusing him, saying that he was jealous of Nolan because of the girl that Nolan was with on the 4th of July, Katie McCormack, and they felt like Bart had a relationship with her. So Bart's hired an attorney, and the attorney already came out and said, that's not true. He didn't have a relationship with Katie. The photo you think is Katie is not Katie. Done all that. But they're in particular now they're going after one OnlyFans model / influencer who has voiced her theory about Bart being involved. Her name is Kimberly, and she is the recipient of a cease and desist letter from Bart's attorney. I don't know if Kimberly is all that scared of this lawsuit. Based on after she got that cease and desist, this was her response.
You want to sue me? Let me tell you how it's going to go. I am poor. I have nothing. I don't own anything. You can't put a lien on property. I have nothing. It's going to
start slinging.
Listen, bro, this is why. This is okay. Welcome to the internet, okay? Yo, this is why the internet ain't for the weak, bruh. Yo, the internet ain't for the weak, homie. I ain't got no paper. I ain't got no money. You can file the lawsuit. You're probably gonna win the lawsuit, right? Yo, she said, listen, you can file the lawsuit. I don't have money to contest it. I'll probably come and show up myself. You're probably gonna win, right? But all you're gonna do is just exhaust your resources. I don't got no homes to come after. I don't got no houses. I don't got no properties at all. I don't got no, like what are you gonna come after? That's her stance. Paul, thanks for telling me. I'm gonna now go back to tell about all these stories about Bart, all right? She said, thanks for notifying me, Bart. Now let me get back to what damn it Bart means. Let me get back to what damn it Bart means, bruh. See me, bruh, I can't play these games, man. All right, when it comes to Bart, again, y'all heard me say it in the last live stream. When it comes to Bart, allegedly, you feel me? Damn, bro, these hiccups is killing me. Nah, Flacco. Nah, hell no, Flacco ain't next, man. Listen, man, Flacco. As we're speaking, okay? As we're speaking, okay? As we're speaking, okay? Bruh, listen, as we're speaking, I'm getting like the text to send a wire for my like a Maybach truck, like as we're speaking. So I'm sending like the wire right now for my like Maybach truck. Man, Flacco ain't playing them games, bro. Listen, man. Hey, listen, bro. I get to playing these games that she playing. They taking my Maybach truck. They taking my home in Katy, Texas. They taking my business. They taking everything, bruh. Everything. So I can't play these games that Kimberly is playing. But
Nolan's death as revenge because he was secretly dating this other girl. I mean, now we're just getting into like crazy conspiracy theories at this point. And I feel like that case has been filled with those.
Well, and Bart actually took it a step further beyond that. He said, not only did I not have anything to do with Nolan's death, but I have actually told police the 20 people I saw that day out there, gave them names, and he said, I'm cooperating fully with this investigation, and he wants to know who killed Nolan, if someone
I've just got
killed Nolan.
I've just got a sense, and again, I'm only basing this on the way I've seen cases go. I've got a sense that we don't know what the actual scenario is, that there are a bunch of scenarios out there, and they all seem to not hold water, and that there's some other scenario that we're going to hear about.
We don't know who was on the island with Nolan after 4:30.
That's right.
We don't know.
Man, listen, man, y'all cut it out, bruh. Bruh, FTMZ, listen, yo, let's get to Kimberly, all right? Let's see what Kimber Ali is. I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try not to be caught. Poetic Flacco, career is over. With the red terry eyes, this is bad. Oh my God. Yo, imagine I say, yo, like Poetic Flacco, career is over after making this big mistake. Nah, hold on, bro. Hold on, man. Listen, man. All right, I enjoy nice things, okay, people? I'm not, if I'm that would not get taken away. All right, so I'm not playing them games with Bart, bro. Allegedly when it comes to Bart, homie. So let's get to, listen, man. Kimber Lee or Kimber, man, she not playing, bro. She not playing at all. Look at her, man. Look at this. Here, let's go up right here to where she mentions Bart. This is where she mentions Bart at. Let's scroll up. She mentions Bart right here. She mentions Bart. She mentions Bart. Man, bro, in a lot of these things, I think right here she mentions Bart, where she talks about what. Let me see real quick. Yeah. Okay. Cool. She's talking about the threat. Let's find where she says "damn it, Bart" at. This entire page, by the way, is just her like just bringing hell to him, she's bringing everything they've been asking for on this page. Let's find. Okay. Perfect. You see? Okay. Yeah. This right here.
Let's talk about what "damn it, Bart" means. I mean, objectively, just looking at all the ways to interpret that, if we don't have a neck, "damn it, Bart" means absolutely nothing. That might mean Bart didn't pull the plug quick enough. Okay, like that is just not the best thing about "damn it, Bart" proves that Bart was there. That's the best thing about that, because the way that could be interpreted, it doesn't mean that he, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm looking at that objectively, and the best thing about that piece of evidence is the fact that his name is mentioned, so he can't say that he proves he was there even more.
Yo, and she still got sued for that. Hold on. I'm confused. How does she still get sued for damn it, Bart, when she says, yo, Bart just meant, hey, listen, bro. If she sued, listen, if she's getting sued for that, there's a lot of people that's in trouble then, bro, all right? Because that was pretty objective. Listen, I was
Look at the besides the
right. That was right. Like that was not right. Like that. Let's just see. Nah, she don't have nothing here, but she does respond back to the lawsuits though. So let's go. She does respond back to the lawsuits though. Right here is where she says. Right here, where she says. So she says, okay, like the lawsuits is for slow motion. Let me find it right here.
Imagine their strategy of trying to call me an OnlyFans model as if that would be some sort of negative thing. When it was like, I couldn't have paid them to promote my OnlyFans. Do y'all understand how this works? Marketing is expensive. If y'all sue me, I have free lawyers. I don't want to pay for the marketing, so y'all are paying for my marketing.
Oh, yo, listen, bruh. So now she's right. If she gets sued, trust me, her community will put up money for that lawyer. Trust me, bruh. Yo, people believe that Nolan Wells was murdered. And a lot of folks believe, right, that this murder was not a coincidence. If she gets sued, people will pay for her lawyer, straight up. So she's not wrong in that regard, but also she has no shame. Yo, y'all picked the wrong person to go after. The lady is telling me, I got nothing to lose. This right here, talking about Nolan Wells, breaking this news, dissecting this information, going against y'all, this right here, this is all I have, man. This is all I have left. I'm gonna do this until the wheels fall off. You can't beat this, bro. Like, yo, you're not gonna win no war against somebody like this, man. It's just not gonna happen, bro. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen, bro. She's gonna do this until the wheels fall off, bro. Look, watch this, man. Here, let me find the stuff right here, all right?
I'm going to be outside the courthouse, and they're going to be like, ma'am, the trial is starting. And I'm going to be like, well, I got to finish this verse first real quick. We shooting a music video out here. Hold on, what time? I got to be in there. Just give me...
Nah, bro. Oh, nah, hold on, bro. She been around. Hold on, bro. She been around black folks for too long, bro. Yo, oh my God. Yo, this lady said she's filming a music video outside. Y'all done iggified this white woman, bro. Y'all done iggified this white woman, bro. Yo, bro, she's moving like, oh my God, bruh. Y'all done iggified this white. Now, I'll be real, bro. Now, shout out to Kimber Ali. Shout out to her, man. Right, Kimber Ali. Dog. I am listen, bro, this would be one of the worst goon sessions you could tell me about, bro. Yo, if I find out that one of y'all is buying Kimber Ali's OnlyFans, y'all got some issues, homie. Y'all got some deep-seated trauma, homie. If y'all is buying Kimber Ali's OnlyFans, y'all got some deep-seated issues, homie. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. Y'all got some issues, son. Y'all got some issues. Son. Yo, this right here. This will be your unproudest goon you've ever had, sir. Is you crazy, Kimber? This is what you going into, sir. You got issues, homie. You got serious issues. This is where you going, homie. This is. Man, shout out to Kimber Ali, man. We appreciate you, man. All right, we appreciate. Damn. All right, man. Okay, so is that all the Nolan Wells breaking news? I think so. Oh, I see. Oh, look, I seen Willie D. Look, okay. Look, I seen Willie D. Look, I seen Willie D. Look, I seen Willie D. Look, I seen Willie D speak on it. Let's go. Yo, Willie D says apparently they're coming after him. I don't know if that's true because I haven't watched it yet, but people are telling me. So 1 second, okay, let's go. Yo, and why? Wait, pause real quick though, okay? Do we want to react to this? It says results are under wrap. All right, cool. So to apparently stop speaking on the Nolan Wall situation, I haven't watched.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, what do we have here? A threat on my life? Really? So let me get this straight. I've been standing on business since I became a professional rapper in 1989. That would put me right at 37 years of nothing but truth.
Okay.
Daring truth.
Okay.
Confronting all sorts of evil, wicked, powerful, rich, and influential people. Taking them down. On the streets, taking down real bona fide gangsters, real killers, all of that. And now I'm supposed to be scared of a digital message? I say, man, I don't know who they think y'all playing.
Now, I'm gonna say this though. Seriously, they're nerds, they're dweebs. These people are not taken seriously, at all. All right, at all. So if it's only them making threats towards you, I feel like that right there is probably better. I thought Bart had the cease and desist drafted up for Willie D. I thought it was Bart. It's good that Willie D. Because if it was, I'll be money, right? Listen, yo, can you imagine, bro, Jake Lang, Bruh, if it's like dweebs like Jake Lang or like Chud the Builder, like sending you threats, man, listen, bruh, like those threats are harmless, bruh. Because we've seen what happens when they pull up, right? Like, bruh, Jake Lang pulled up and he got spanked. Like, he got belted behind and got ran up out of LA and back to the hospital. So, but these white supremacists are dweebs, they're harmless. So if it's only them, then I guess, but hopefully.
I'm really not the one. Or, depending on how you look at it, I'm the one. You picked the right one. Because my heart don't pump no fear for cowards. Cowards that will mask their faces. Cowards that will attack a grieving mother and father whose child is murdered.
Agreed.
I have zero respect for those who try to circumvent justice. Zero. See, y'all are used to being bullies. Y'all think y'all in the 1960s where you pick up the phone and, hey nigga, you better get out of town, nigga. We gonna get you, nigga. I don't know what you heard, but I bust back. And I do go on the offense. So if I find out who you are, expect contact. While they're attacking me and other creators who are simply just trying to help the family get answers and to protect the public, because you got some killers out there.
Now, I'll be real though. Okay, I will be real though. Right? Now, I have my disagreements with Willie D. You know, like, do I particularly like Willie D? I have my disagreements with him, right? Like, he's not my favorite person in the world, right? You know, but if the brother is covering this, you feel me? Like, but if the brother is covering this Nolan Wells case, then any threats to him is like unacceptable, right? Like any threats to him is unacceptable, right? You feel me? Like regardless of my personal opinion of Willie D, any threats to this brother is unacceptable, right? It's not okay. It's not cool. And I feel like, you know, like my audience, his audience, I feel like everybody who has any interest in his Nolan Wells situation should support the brother, should ride for the brother, should like ride behind the brother, because this is, because this ain't okay. And they call us violent, right? Yo, that's their favorite line, right? Oh, they're violent. Yo, their favorite line is, oh, they're violent. They're violent. Right? You always want to fight. It's just a word. Why do you want to fight over a word? Right? So they call us, but they're always the ones resorting to violence. Always, man. Yo, look at what they did like in Tulsa. Black folks, that's fine. We'll have our own thing. We'll do a good thing in Tulsa. They came and burned it down. Look at what happened in Philadelphia. Black folks, that's fine. We'll do our own thing. They came and burned it down. Now, right, like, again, like the independent researchers is saying, hey, we just want answers for Nolan Wells. Now they want to murder us. Now they want to kill us. Now they want to fight us. Why? I thought we were the violence one. What happened to y'all? Somebody says, why don't you like and Willie D? It's not important, bro. Again, this is not the time and place to discuss this. It's just, all right. Right now, the focus is on Nolan Wells. So shout out to any and everybody discussing Nolan Wells.
Them. Why are they attacking us? Why not attack these guys? They're the ones who were supposed to be his friends. who left him on the island all by himself. They're the ones who have been given inconsistent stories. They're the ones who went back home on the boat alive without Nolan. They're the ones who kept his phone, kept his keys, deleted their social medias.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who wouldn't talk to the parents and give them any answers. Why aren't they being attacked? They're really not being attacked. From the governor to the AG to local law enforcement, they're more on the suspected killer side than they are the grieving parents' side. Now think about that. And so I'm seeing everywhere where these uncivilized mutts are attacking the family now. They're attacking the family. They're attacking anybody that asks questions about.
And that's also like, right? And that's also like a sign of guilt as well, right? Because, if you just attacking any and everybody who speaks on this situation, it's a sign of guilt because what are you hiding? What are you like trying to stop from coming out? Like, what is it? Because, fam, if somebody tell a lie on me, I would want you, right? Like, I'm not gonna stop when you say, hey, I'm doing a full investigation to find out, okay, do that. Because I know the investigation would turn up nothing at all. Would turn up nothing. So if they truly believe that we were lying and that what we were saying is no merits, is no facts to it, why wouldn't you want for the investigation to play out? Why wouldn't you want us to keep on speaking and burying ourselves deeper? Why wouldn't you want us to keep speaking and burying ourselves deeper? Because ultimately, we're going to find out what happened to Nolan, right? Like, ultimately, there has to be a conclusion to this, ultimately. Right? There ultimately has to be a conclusion to this. So why wouldn't you want us to find it, right? But they're rushing to silence people. They're rushing to put a muzzle on people because they understand what's going on. They understand the movement is way greater than what they anticipated and expected. And the answers are being there.
About the case. Anybody that's pointing fingers at who was hanging out with Nolan, they're trying to attack. What they're using is DARVO. DARVO is a manipulation strategy used to avoid accountability. It stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It was coined by psychologist Dr. Jennifer Freud. It describes a person turning the tables when they're caught doing wrong. Family. Are we there? Are we there yet? So let me break it down to you. There are 3 steps of DARVO. Check this out. Tell me if this resonates with you. The offender says the bad act never happened or claims they did nothing wrong. The offender gets angry and insults the person who called them out, trying to make them look bad or crazy. The offender acts like they are the true victim and paints the real victim as the mean attacker.
Hey, man. Hey, man, listen, man. Pray for Willie D, man. Shout out like the Willie D, man. All right, perfect. People, all right, we have done all of the... Drop 5 topics y'all want us to touch on. Come on. Drop 5 topics y'all want us to discuss. Come on, let's get to it. I want to do another live, but yesterday I wanted to go live at 11 p.m. but then I had something going on. Yo, you know what? I promise you guys,